recent poll this week, 70% of Ontarians are unhappy with the current structure of the beer store. Do you have any thoughts on that?
In a perfect world, I think beer is readily available. You can buy cigarettes absolutely anywhere, but somehow you can't buy a 4% beer. But even, in a 5-year plan, it'd be amazing to see craft-centric stores. Just even if there's 5 in each city where you could go, it was curated, selected, however you do it, and it would be a place where little breweries that only do 5 heck a year, or even breweries of our size, could bring in a beer that 1,000 units or something like that and sell, where it's just not viable in a beer store. Even if that relationship wasn't the way it is, it just doesn't make sense for us to release like that. So having a place just to put our specialty releases so that people could get them without driving out to our brewery, that would be my perfect world. So
no, I think it's great that the word's getting out that the beer store is not actually a government-run organization, and so it's good to see that Ontarians are becoming more knowledgeable about the issue. It'll be really interesting to see what happens with the spring budget and what sort of changes craft brewers can expect.
Right now, as part of the Ontario Craft Brewers, we're just waiting to see what the government's going to do with the whole legislation. We don't really have an opinion right now. We really want to, our opinion is we want to focus on the government process. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's inevitable that people are finally beginning to wake up and realize that our main source of distribution is literally owned by multinational corporations. So I think consumers want to know that when they're purchasing their beer, they're actually purchasing directly from locally owned distributors. So yeah, it'll be interesting the times ahead for sure.
Yeah, I think it's, that whole thing's ongoing. We'll see what happens with it, but certainly could be a lot of changes, that could be more beneficial, to Ontario and, creating jobs, and we're still working on it. We'll see where it goes.
I'm all for craft. The fact that maybe more craft will be in the beer store, I think is great. LCBO is also always a good selection, but if you can, buy from a local brewery for sure. Yeah.
Well, I think it's time that the Premier takes a look at the beer store. I mean, they do have a monopoly, and it's just, consumers are finally waking up and realizing, hey, the beer store is actually owned by foreign companies, and if that's the case, we need to have better access for Ontario craft brewers. And that's really all we care about. They can keep the beer store as long as they do a good job of merchandising Ontario craft brewers.